Okay, well, I guess this is like an off-cut project. So I get heaps of these strips. I normally get 2 strips of timber out of each pallet slab. And all of these ones are just under the size, which I normally make my slabs out of. So I'm going to make some thinner slabs, use all this timber to remake this chair.
Okay, so the first quick little bit of this video is just me making a slab. I've made it plenty of times in pretty much all my other videos, so I'm going to try and speed through that relatively quickly because there is heaps to get through on this video because there's lots of parts and tried lots of new things and learnt a lot along the way. So this is it. This is me making a slab. Pretty awesome stuff. All right, so sit back, grab a brew. This is a little bit longer video than I normally make. But hope you enjoy and thanks for tuning in.
Okay, this week's sticker sponsor shout out is Robin Lewis. Robin Lewis Makes, he's another Townsville guy. If you like this video about bendy furniture, you're definitely going to want to check out his stuff. His last few builds up there somewhere are pretty awesome. So go and check him out. Thanks for the sticker, mate. Also, Robin hosts a podcast called the Shop Stool Podcast. It's really cool. 3 very experienced dudes talking some really good stuff. It's not just 3 dudes trying to jam it into you for some money, talking shit. It's actually really good and awesome guests. Good stuff. Right, so here's my first blank. So I'm now going to cut veneers so I see all this cool colour. Whether I've bitten off more than I can chew, I don't really know. But that's the beauty of trying new things. So hopefully it works because they'll look cool as a part of longboards for this chair.
All right, so this has been a long time in the making. What I'm doing here, this technique, it's actually what I want to do to make veneers so I can put them into longboards, skateboards. But I'm going to use those veneers in this chair. They'll form the outer layer. I'm not going to do all this pallet wood inside. I'm just going to use some plywood for that. Okay, every once in a while I've just been squaring it up with the belt sander initially just to keep my veneers looking nice. I've also got Mark 1 outfeed. These slabs are about 1 metre long and they're getting a little bit hairy to handle. I've now got a better outfeed that's more permanent. Okay, I'm going to pull this chair apart, see what's inside, how it's made, what I can reuse and what I can use as templates.
Okay, I'm going to use the thin air press from Raw Rocket. Use that technology which is used in skateboards to bend some plywood to make this seat pan. So I've got this 3mm plywood which is flexible enough to bend in that one axis. For the back piece, it's bent in 2 different axes. So I'm going to get some maple veneer from Raw Rocket as well, which will let me get right down into those curves, just like building a skateboard. So that should work cool.
So I've got about 4 layers of the 3mm plywood on the middle, and then I've got my pallet wood veneers on the top and the bottom. I'm just using the blue tape as the clamping mechanism, run a bead of glue through and it holds it all together. I'm then going to go ahead and do this crazy routine, working pretty quickly to get it all glued together so that I can get it into the thin air press or the vacuum bag, if you will, just like this. It's good stuff. These bags are about $140 Aussie, and I'm super happy with it. It's really cool.
All right, so I forgot to put this in. It still worked, but you're meant to have a little bit of a breather so you can suck more air out. So, whoops.
Okay, moving on to the armrests. I'm going to use the rest of this 3mm ply, some scrap plywood, and then again use the armrests as a template to come up with this design. So it's the same routine. I'm just showing you all the different bits of scrap wood I use, plus my veneers. I'm not going to use the thin air press this time. I'm just going to stick it in my standard press because it's pretty flat, it's pretty quick and easy. Okay, moving on to the backrest. So these are those veneers again. I'm chopping them down into tiny little squares because I want to make some sort of unique pattern for the seat back. So these particular pallets have had more love from me in this shed in the last few months than anything. They've been through pretty much every machine to get them to this state. And again, they are leftovers from another job. All right, so this routine, same deal, using the tape. Lesson learnt, I need to do the little pieces, which is coming up about now. Do it like this, so with little bits of tape, get that axis all glued up, and then you go ahead and glue it together longitudinally. It saves you a lot of grief, and you can actually get the glue in the cracks like this much easier. I got away with sanding the seat pan after the fact because it's only curved in that one axis. Learned my lesson though, knowing that the back was bent in the two axis. I sand that flat, kept the blue tape on, then put the blue tape back on, did the other side. All right, moving on. So just trimming up the armrest. So coming up with a bit of a shape, picking an absolutely random angle because this seat is about not having anything where I need to check square, obviously. So this is what I come up with. Got a bit of bow to trim it out, make it look pretty cool, and goes nicely with these cool angles. Alrighty, using up some more glue and some more thin strips. I'll explain, I'll let my rude head live action explain to you in just a moment what I'm doing.
Okay, so what I've got going on here, I've laminated some thin strips together because I want to make sure I match the profile of this seat pan. Even though it is pretty well flat, this will guarantee me I get a nice good glue up when I piece all this together. So where this will come into play and will be more important is on the seat back. As you can see, it's got a decent curve and I need those laminations to match up with that perfectly to again take my threaded bolts to hold the seat back up. Groovy?
Okay, so just gluing the armrest trimming, if you will. I guarantee you that is not squared, so no need to check square. Okay, the trimming underneath, I've just taken about a 7 degree cut off those just for the underside, so it just looks a little less harsh. Oh, check square, I don't know what I'm checking it against, but it was square, trust me. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of doweling. Probably don't need it. It was purely for decorative purposes, and I'm very happy I made the D to go that way. All right, trimming up the seat pan, making sure it's the right size, taking it to the bandsaw, working on the armrest. Told you there was a lot going on. Seat pan, trim that up with the bandsaw, and first time I got a little skinny blade on, and thank God it's working a treat. Okay, so what I'm working on here, the swivel mechanism underneath the round base, it's got to attach to this curve. So again, I'm matching the curve of the seat pan. I've then made up this little slide or sled and just planing off the bottom on the jointer to make it flat like that. So then I can cut a circle. The underside will be curved to match the seat pan. The bottom will be flat so that I can then put on the swivel mechanism. Like that? I did. It worked. If you got a better idea, I'd love to hear it because I had nothing, but that's what I came up with and it worked. So all good. Hey, what's going on here? OCD nightmare. Oh man, nightmare. Anyway, moving on. All right, going with the threaded inserts to attach the swivel base to the chair. I'm very happy that this is strong enough. Someone on Instagram told me that it's only going to hold 150 pounds maximum. You're going to rip your ass out. It's way stronger than what was there. I'm pretty happy that it's all good, and I am 100 kilos. That's 200 pounds in the old money. So it works. I'm happy. Moving on. That's how you attach it, just like that. Alrighty, all the bits and pieces now for the seat pan. Sorry, the backrest. I ordered skateboard veneers from Raw Rocket because they are much thinner and I've got to be able to bend in those two axes. So there is a total of 8 veneers on this one, including my 2 decorative front and back pieces. Get those in the bag, suck most of the air out with the vacuum, and then hit it with the hand pump. This hand pump is just unreal. It gets the job done real quick.
All right, I've said it about 1,000 times on my Instagram feed, but this is the best plastic bag you'll ever buy. It is amazing. So I got mine from Raw Rocket AU in Australia. They're in UK, the States. Such a versatile piece of kit. Look at that. I'm bending on both axes. There's about 8 veneers in there. They are skateboard veneers. with my decorative stuff on top. Woo!
All right, more glue. Okay, these are bits I was talking about earlier. They need to match the curve of the seat back.
Okay, I've just got my little laminations glued on. I have trimmed off the edge there. So lesson learned, I did the original bending of these pieces, took them out of the clamps, left it for a few days, and it actually just flexed away from the shape. Now the clamps have brought it back in, so I'm going to be interested to see how that goes. There's only a couple of millimeters under there, but anyway, next time I'll probably go straight into it once it comes out of the clamps.
Okay, so seat back, I'm going to trim the sides off first before I do the curves on the bandsaw. I've probably got to come up with a better way to get those two backrest attachment thingy bobs exactly the same thickness. So it was a bit of guesswork. I got there in the end, but they're not perfect. Did the job, but there's got to be a better way. Maybe some Cuppy's woodwork mathematics is required. Now, I don't have any Forstner bits, but I do have these spade bits from Irwin, and what I do like about them is the little tips on the end, which actually score your wood before you start gouging into it, so you actually get a nice, neat cut. So I'm happy to run with them for now. They're all good. Okay, starting to come together now. It's time to mark out the holes so I can put in some threaded inserts, and that's how I'm going to attach my armrests, my backrests, and make it all hold together. So pretty much what IKEA does, so, you know, they better watch out. Know what I'm saying? Not really. Okay, so this is just me working in actual normal speed to show that I'm not a complete goose all the time. Okay, got some nice shiny washers. Going to stick those in the holes for the bolt then to go in. It's going to look semi-professional and pretty effective. Same deal, lining up the seat back. So that's all done, and we're getting close. Righto, getting close to putting on some finish. So we are very close. So I've painted it all before I've assembled it, which is all good. And I'm really happy with how these colours and tones are all starting to pop and show off with little decorations like the dowel. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. There's all the pieces. I dig it. I'm pretty excited at this point. Okay, so the washers did fit in, but then after I put the finish off, it was just enough that I have to give a few love taps to seat those into position. Anyway, it's all good. They didn't do any damage. Happy with that. Okay, so it's pretty much bolts and an Allen key and put this thing together. Like I said, a la IKEA. Oh, check that seat back. That is probably the most favourite piece of wood that I have ever made. All right, quick road test. Make sure it doesn't spontaneously combust. It's all good. Alrighty, quick check of the lift mechanism, quick pick of the nose, and then quietly admire my handiwork.
Okay, so hope you enjoyed watching that video. I certainly enjoyed making this, and like I've probably said through the video, it was all about a learning experience for me to try something different, and this is the result. Cool chair.